at the rear. So guys, thank you so much for walking with us again. And, you know, I say again, everybody here didn't walk last year, but I know that quite a few of you guys did, considering we're back in St. Louis. And it's great to be back in St. Louis walking. You know, in a lot of ways, the idea of coming back here and doing the walk again and walking down these streets and seeing how some things have changed, but the walk has stayed the same is part of what is really awesome about doing this with you guys. You know, doing the walks is not necessarily something that is encapsulated by one tour that we're going to do or one goal that we have, but it's really driven by you guys. Doing this, like we said back to our very first walk that we did, it only would be three crazy guys walking down the street with a megaphone and walking on our own without you guys showing up and supporting us. And making a difference, deciding to show up and be here. Who has Tom's shoes? I see a lot of Tom's shoes people here. They actually have was that the original ones? The ones from the spring? Nice. When we started off the walks, we'd seen how you guys have responded to a song, and we put out Great Divide, and a lot of you guys bought that download, and it raised money for a program in South Africa for kids living with AIDS. And then we said, okay, well, let's do shoes. And so then the goal was to help give shoes. And you know, what's been so awesome since we started the walks is we've had so many people come back to us with, hey, you know what, we did the walk, that was cool, but then I had this idea, and it was so much better than what you guys did. And that's what we want to hear, is we want to hear about what you guys are inspired to do. We want to hear about the ways that the walk became something greater, and that's really what inspired the idea of registering these walks and trying to walk around the world. You know, this whole tour, every person that walks, every one of you guys represents a simple action that compiles to make something huge happen. Just like a pair of shoes, you know, when we started off with Tom's shoes, one shoe at a time, people buy a pair, you guys that are holding your Toms, those were real shoes. You know, we sat with kids and put shoes on their feet. We talked to kids that had never received anything new before. We talked to kids that walk several kilometers every day, both ways to go to school, and then we're walking down the street like, oh my gosh, my feet are annoying. Believe me, you don't want to see the bottom of a 5-year-old's foot that I held and put his first new pair of shoes on, and we're kind of complaining about it being a big deal to take our shoes off. What we're doing is not about shoes, it's not about, you know, one specific aspect. In fact, it's even further not just a question of whether we're all going to connect with the issues in Africa. What's going on in Africa is an emergency for our generation, regardless of whether it's yours or not. It is one. And it's something that we connected with. It's something that we saw with our own eyes and something that we couldn't ignore. And we decided, you know what? We're a band. We have an audience. We have a group of people we can talk to. Let's do this. Let's do this as a band. Let's not do it on the side. Let's just make what we do a part of helping other people. You guys are just like that. You have jobs, you have ideas, you have school that you do, you have classes that you're in, you have things you're going to study, you have people that you influence. And when you decide to show up, when you decide to walk, it's a demonstration, not for the people around you, but it's a demonstration for you guys to realize that you've shown up, you've taken action, you've gotten here early, you've gotten your feet dirty. The hardest thing to do is to start. And here we are, you know, practically a year later, and we're walking again in St. Louis, and you guys are with us, and it's really, really awesome to see you show up again. So everybody that walks, you know, we often think that a small thing won't matter, but when you see, you know, we took the walk the other day at SMU in Dallas, and we're standing here talking about walks and talking about how, you know, shoes and simple things can matter, and then I honestly think about, you know, sitting there in the first school that we visited last year after we delivered these shoes, and there was one guy who spent a lot of time while I was walking one of the walks saying, oh, well, shoes don't really matter, shoes don't really matter. And I've never seen a smile so big on a kid's face when you put a shoe on their feet for the first time.